I'm Kristi Gustafson Barlette with Times Union and TimesUnion.com. And welcome to 20 Things Plus, where each week we go live with somebody previously featured on the Times Union's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. This week we are going to be joined by Taylor Rayo. Taylor is the co-founder of Two Buttons Deep. And Two Buttons Deep is a local digital media entertainment website. Well, I shouldn't say website, just a company. And Taylor's also a former Times Union intern. And one of the things I love about the content on Two Buttons Deep is you can find it on Instagram, Facebook, all over social media, but it's the kind of stuff you always want to share. And as a result, it also often goes viral. Welcome, Taylor.
Hi.
I'm sorry, I kind of messed up there with the whole digital media entertainment company, but I do know what you are. And
well, you know what? A lot of people don't. So I feel like the elevator pitch is something we still need to work on a little bit, surprisingly, because when you're in the world, you think it's very self-explanatory, but people are like, you're a website, and it evolves.
Well, it has, because I know you used to be a blog too, and now I know I find most of your content on Instagram, and it is all over the place, but you've kind of moved on from blogging and post more heavily on social media and things like that.
Yeah.
So like I said, you're one of my former interns. I always call you my most fabulous former intern. I almost named my first child after you. And almost not quite there, but almost. And you also were a previous 20 Things You Don't Know About Me. So we're going to have you update us on a couple of your original things and then share with us a couple of new things as well. So why don't we get started with one of your first ones, which has to do with some biking and swimming.
Okay, so first of all, my original 20 Things was 3 years ago yesterday. So the timing could not be more great. And it's funny looking back on what I wrote, because biking and swimming have never been my strong suits, so much so that I included it in this thing. And in the past 3 years, Two Buttons Deep has been picked up to partner with CDTA and the CDPHP cycle. So now it is part of my job to bike and to promote safe and fun bike riding here in the Capital Region. It's been a little challenging, but I will say you guys can find me cruising around on the green bikes, and I've become a little bit better at it. I've had a couple nice bike trips in Brazil with my mom, and then one not so nice bike trip, which is the reason why I'm bringing it up. I tried to get a little too fancy on a trip in Florida this past summer. I was safe, don't worry. And I had a little biking accident, and I just so happened to catch the whole thing on film, because when my boyfriend turned around and said, "How did you fall? Were you taking a video?" I said, "No, I was not taking a video. I'm smart enough. I'm not a good bike rider. Why would I try to bike and film at the same time?" And I did hide that information for a little bit until we got on the plane, and I was able to reveal the video of me, casually trying to take a nice video of the ocean front and wiped out in front of like 15 people. So the update is that I'm still not good at these things, but it's becoming a little bit more part of my lifestyle.
And you haven't broken any bones. And we all know that you're incredibly fashionable. So I'm wondering, do you have some super fashionable helmet, or do you leave the helmet behind?
Okay, so for CDPHP cycle, we have to wear the helmet. So I've been able to have a couple ones with like flames, some children's helmets. I was looking at my wrist because I did get like a little bit of a scar from that last incident, but I try to put safety first. I've invested in some sneakers because of this effort. But our most recent bike to brunch from my apartment in Albany to Lost and Found, I was in flip-flops, and I don't recommend that for some B-grade bikers like myself.
I was going to say flip-flops is better, because I thought you were going to tell me that you were maybe in heels or something, because you always have fabulous shoes on in all your photos.
I've done that before too. I had my most popular CDPHP video, I had heels on, and I realized that's better for me because it adds a few inches. So I have an easier time getting on and off the bike. I'm so short that when I have flats on and the seat is as low as possible, I actually need a spot. So I had a spotter in my last video where someone actually had to help me get on the bike because I'm too short for it.
So now you've got an excuse to wear heels. All right, number 2, tell us a little bit about this. This one was a fashion. I was just talking fashion, and this is a fashion-related one.
Well, Kristi, I had to bring this one up with you because I am very adventurous with my style. I see a lot of new opportunities with things that come back into the market. One of the more recent trends I did try, and that's not why I'm talking about this. Have you seen people wearing bandanas again?
As masks, but not on their head.
Okay, so it is maybe a very new trend then, but like Hailey Bieber and all the celebrities and even some local fashionistas I know have been wearing the bandana. and like actually, you know, like someone would do when they're doing housework.
Oh, so not like Rambo.
Yeah, like, you know, you just, no. Like they fold it over.
Okay.
Your bonnet.
Little triangles behind your head.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've seen it. I've been inspired by people more fabulous than me. And I did try it on Saturday. I was running errands and I ended up like at a car dealership, like pretty close to buying a car. Totally forgot it was on my head. And then later that day, like kind of thought to myself, I highly doubt people thought I was being trendy. Like I actually think people thought I was serious with that bandana, and it didn't look that great on me, but I just went about my business. And I was a little embarrassed. I'm like, people probably thought I was literally painting a house and then just walked in to like sign a deal on a car like that.
Well, right, because we're always about 2 years behind on most fashion trends here. And I know you're working to change that, but in upstate New York, we tend to be about 2 years behind.
No, but the pandemic really threw me for a loop with that. So it was like a little risky of me to just throw this bandana on my head like it was no big deal. But the fashion trend that I'm here to try, because I'm forced to, I wanted to show off some of my fall masks because I've embraced mask fashion, as I'm calling it. So here I have, you know, these ones I haven't even busted out yet. I got these from Tory Burch.
Really?
Yeah, who I'm not a fan of, actually, to be honest. I don't really care for Tory Burch, but these masks I've gotten a ton of compliments on. If I ever go back to the gym, I have some athletic masks from Athleta.
Yes, those are great. They get crazy good reviews, like 4,000.
Oh, really?
People love the Athleta masks.
Oh, well, I'm glad. I don't know if I'll ever actually put it into practice in an indoor workout, but if I have to, this forest green is nice. So, you know, a fashion trend, I'm accepting it. You know, it's for the good of the people and everybody's health and safety, but there's no reason to wear the medical grade ones from the box when you could, you know, kind of coordinate a little bit with your outfits.
Even my girls, when they go to school every morning, if I pick the wrong mask, they say, no, it doesn't match my outfit. They need it to match. And I'm kind of in on that too now. I'm like, I got to move to winter because all my masks are summer masks.
I'm hoping they can keep us a little warmer too. You know, that's the only upside I see for like wearing them in the winter. It's like it's a nose warmer. I think Lee Hornbeck actually said that on Facebook, and I agree.
It is a good idea. That's true. We sweated wearing them in the summer, so maybe that means it'll have an advantage in the winter.
They're not going anywhere, so.
All right, very cool. So now you're going to give us 3 new things. And again, I love the first one is fashion related and the buttonista, which is part of 2 Buttons Deep, of course. And it came, I'm guessing, buttonista comes from fashionista, but it plays off of 2 Buttons Deep.
Exactly. Jack came up with that, who I know he might eventually appear on the show. I'm sure he's going to try to one-up me. So I tried to bring a little bit of excitement today. So he doesn't get too many ideas. But the Buttonista, this was launched in November 2019, I believe. That logo right there is from Jenny C. She's a really great, she makes, you know, cards and sort of graphics for people's weddings, event invitations. And she helped me out with that little graphic from one of my favorite track inspired outfits. But the Buttonista is my own Instagram page. We do a little bit of Twitter and other social media, but as you know, if you love fashion, Instagram is where it's at. So I'm trying my hand at, I don't want to call it influencer because I'm always very me. So I have my own podcast called The Buttonista, where I've had some incredible interviews with local fashionistas and people that just generally inspire me. But my take on fashion and my sort of design aesthetic is really developing through the Buttonistas page. And it's been fun to just get real people following, not where it's so aspirational that it's like, you know, they could never wear this, they could never pull this off. I'm really kind of trying to take it to where we are here in the capital region fashion wise, and people are really liking it so far. So it's been a good step forward, I think, for us.
Was there any one particular person who started following you, and when you got that notification, you thought, "Oh wow, this is great. He or she is following me now"?
Well, I mean, you know, I am a news fangirl all across the board. So Karen Terracci, Sabrina Dami, those are some of my favorites. Jodie Kenny from Spectrum. They all really kind of show their sense of style when they're in the news doing their thing. So to see them follow me is really exciting. And then I actually got a couple private messages from people, I don't know if it was pre-pandemic or during, people that have moved up from New York City and have followed my page and said, wow, what a breath of fresh air. I thought nobody in the capital region was fashionable, and I feel so weird, you know, kind of bringing my style up here where I don't feel like it's as accepted, and your page makes me feel like, you know, we're getting somewhere and that my outfits are appreciated. So that's been a nice little upside of it as well.
Well, I know you're a huge Today Show fan, and I know you're saying it's local, but if you were to get a big follow from there, I'm guessing it would be Jenna Hoda or Savannah, right?
Jenna did like one of my tweets or something, because I noticed, little side note, a lot of them do Rent the Runway, which I do. And I'm not shy about it because it's been totally life-changing for my fashion game. This is a nice Rent the Runway. I'm not really sure about it though. But Jenna, I notice everything that she has on is like Rent the Runway. And then I'm online trying to find it. And I think I commented on one of her posts and she liked it. So I'm trying to move my way a little closer to them so we can officially acknowledge each other.
And when you become friends with her, you need to bring me along to whatever.
Oh,
because I'm a huge fan of hers too.
Absolutely.
All right, now this next new thing about you. When I saw this picture on Facebook, I think I might have even texted you and said, what happened to the Taylor I know? You're fishing, and what else are you doing?
People could not believe this about me. And, I mean, when you're into fashion, when you're always trying to put yourself together in a way that, makes you feel good, but also is like your image, I think people think of me as someone that's not super outdoorsy, and they would be correct. I don't like to hike. I don't do any sort of skiing. I don't know if you saw my skiing video that I did last year at West Mountain, but I had a major crash that I was so excited from the adrenaline. I told Jack I want to go up the hill again. He said, absolutely not. We don't have enough insurance for that. So
now I need to go back and find that. I did not see that video.
Yeah, it was my first skiing lesson, which when you're making a 2-minute video, your skiing lesson has to be very, very short. But anyways, during the pandemic, I keep saying to everybody, I feel like summer started really early. We all started getting outside as quickly and as often as possible. So my boyfriend is not a fisherman by any means, but we started fishing. He would go after work to kind of relax. He was an essential worker, so he was extremely busy during the pandemic, and we would meet up at a couple different ponds in Albany. At first, I was a spectator. I had no interest. It was nice to get the fresh air, but I might have brought, a little cooler, checked social media, caught up with my mom on the phone. And then eventually I kind of just started like gravitating towards like, what's this? What's that? And as you saw in that picture, I'm holding a fish. So I have developed quite a bit on this new hobby. And I realize it's for one very important reason. When you fish with someone else, especially if it's your significant other, you cannot bother them. You cannot ask them for help. If your line gets tangled, you have to learn how to do it. And the only time it ever got a little tense is when you actually catch the fish. And I'm like, I don't think I can touch this thing. I cannot unhook this out of a fish's mouth. I mean, people, it's just not for me. But I learned and I did it. And now I'm just a little bit of a fisher girl, or a fisher, I guess you would say.
Yes, I was very surprised when I saw that. Were there any other new hobbies that you picked up during the pandemic that might surprise us?
There's one that I think I'm still developing, but I had great success with my indoor plants here in downtown Albany because the natural light is amazing. And over the summer, I spent a little bit of time at my mom's house. She was taking care of my grandfather up in Saratoga. So I was the interim groundskeeper, I called it. So she has an incredible garden in Rexford, and I just felt like it was the only thing I could do to really help out in this situation where she wasn't spending time, enjoying her garden, which she loves to do. So I got my hands dirty. It was before the nail salons open, and I tried to maintain her garden, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm thinking that now I mastered the indoor plants. As things continue, maybe to next spring, I'm going to get my hands dirty in the garden again and see what I can do out there, get creative.
You can wear that bandana on your head because it would definitely fit in there.
That is the place to do it, where there's no irony. Nobody will be confused about what I'm trying to pull off or not. But it's just two activities that, again, it's not a hike. I'm not going uphill. I'm not biking. I'm not mountain biking, but it's getting me there. Maybe eventually I could be on the rollerblades with you someday.
I mean, that would be a dream. And not every hike requires steep uphill. Sometimes you're just going into the woods and coming back. And I'm telling you,
that's true. But you could also drive a lot of those like high peaks. I think you could just drive to the top.
Yeah. Then you don't go through whatever your Adirondack 46 or whatever it is people are aiming for. All right. Your next one. This is cool. We had one of the Real Housewives as a 20 Things previously. We had Dorinda, and I see that I remember you had done an interview when they came to, what was it, Saratoga National. And
yeah,
a few degrees of separation from the Real Housewives, right?
Well, that's where it started. So this is a little bit more of a story and then a little bit of a pandemic bummer that happened. But I was asked to interview Dorinda at this event last year at National, which was a total blast. And one of my 20 things from 2017 was that my mom is one of the funniest people I know. Well, my mom is also one of the biggest Real Housewives fans that I know. So she was looking forward to this event way more than I was. She told me everything I needed to know. And when I got to the event with her, I had to do my thing. It was a quick interview, a little back and forth with Dorinda. My mom is kind of scouting out the scene at National, and she sees Dorinda's mother, who I believe is from England, as is my mom and my mom's family.
Oh, that's cool.
Dorinda's sister was there, her daughter, and I'm with Jack. We're filming, we're networking a little bit. I'm like, where's my mom? And she's sitting at the table with Dorinda's mother and Dorinda's sister, chit-chatting, talking about England, talking about life. I'm like, she's going to end up at dinner with them. I'm just sure of it. So she started there. But then in March, I was so excited. I got asked by Proctor's to kind of be like the Andy Cohen, the host of an event at Universal Preservation Hall called A Night with the Real Housewives. Yep. So there was going to be like Brandy from Beverly Hills. There's going to be Carol from New York City, who I also interviewed on my podcast. And then Caroline, I think, from New Jersey. And it was literally on like March 7th, and it was canceled. And I was devastated because I had binged all the shows to get up to speed. I interviewed Carol from New York as a prep, and she was super inspiring and great. And of course, at the time, it was so unknown, so uncertain. They were like, we'll reschedule. And I'm thinking, okay, I mean, I have all these fabulous outfits. I had hair and makeup scheduled. Like, it was just such a bummer, but I'm hoping that one day we will all reunite. I know they were filming in Lake George this summer, so I don't want to be a Real Housewife. I work, I hustle, a lot, as they do too. But I'm hoping with my mom's connections and her knowledge and the fact that they might end up back in the 518, I'm just inching my way a little bit closer to them too. Not as much of a priority as the Today Show though.
Did your mom and Dorinda's mom exchange phone numbers?
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they did. She might have kept that information from me, but she got a picture with them. They like couldn't get away from each other at this event. It was absolutely to die for, laughing, watching them. I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? But she knows how to work a room.
And now we don't have to wonder where you get it from, Taylor.
No, absolutely not.
Very cool. All right. So at this point in 20 Things Plus, we play this little game where I give you 3 clues for who Monday's 20 Things You Don't Know About Me may be.
Oh boy.
And this one is tough, I will tell you that. And I will also say that readers and viewers can guess by tweeting us at Times Union, tweeting me at Just Kristi, or commenting on this video on the Times Union's Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Now, it's hard, but maybe I can try to give you some extra clues along the way. I tried to give some obvious tips. So let's see. The first one has to do with her tattoos. It says, I have loads of tattoos, but I pass out getting blood work done. So, and she's active on social media, and you often see all her tattoos.
Okay.
I've been asked if I have any relation to John Dillinger hundreds of times throughout my life. And the answer is yes. My goal as far back as I can remember was to work for myself in my own space, doing what I love. In August 2019, that finally happened.
Oh boy, that's it? That was the clues?
Well, here's the thing. You know her last name because she's related to John Dillinger. She has a lot of tattoos. She owns her own business in her own space, and I will say it's in Schenectady. All right. Well, I'll tell you this too. She's in the beauty industry.
I was already going to guess that because the tattoos and the whole thing, the space opening, I got there. I was thinking Janae, because she has a lot of tattoos, but it's not Janae.
No. And you're referring to Janae Senna, she's a former Today Show contributor. She's an author of the Bra Book, and she is also a very successful businesswoman and does have a lot of tattoos, but this isn't her.
Are you going to tell me who it is, or do I have to find out next week?
You'll have to find out Monday. So I'm going to cut you right there because you don't know, but we'll see if usually every week somebody gets it correct on Twitter. So we'll see.
Did anybody guess me? What were my clues?
No. It's only previewing who's going to be 20 Things You Don't Know About Me, the list.
Oh, the new one, not this one. Got it. I'm trying to think of people that maybe.
Back when we were, like you said, 3 years ago, we weren't doing the video portion. So no.
Gotcha.
All right. So thank you so much, Taylor. I appreciate it. Everybody can check out 2 Buttons Deep. Like I said, you can find you on Instagram's your primary place, right? But you're also Facebook, Twitter, anywhere else that they should be looking. Snapchat, anything like that?
No, we're too old for Snapchat and TikTok, which is, I think we missed the boat on that one.
See, no, I think you're young enough for it. I'm too old for it. You should be over there. All right.
Enough social to manage, I think.
You do, and you guys do a great job. People need to follow you. I love when you say "meanwhile in" like upstate New York or Saratoga or Schenectady or whatever, and you have those great photos and funny videos, and it's just fun. It's light, it's entertaining.
That's
and,
right.
And your videos when you go to rallies, nothing else is like those.
No, it's election season, so we'll see what happens, but we try to stay away from that stuff.
But when Jack goes down there's nothing like it. All right, thank you so much, Taylor.
Thank
and
you.
Take guesses on @Times Union and @JustKristi, and we'll see you next week.